Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we discussed the importance of signals and trends in understanding the changing landscape of e-commerce. Now, we'll delve into scenario planning, a strategic foresight technique that helps us envision different future scenarios based on understanding key uncertainties and drivers identified from signals and trends analysis. Scenario planning involves creating multiple plausible narratives or scenarios depicting different future states of a particular industry, market, or organization. These scenarios are not predictions, but rather tools for exploring uncertainties and potential outcomes in a structured and systematic manner. By considering a range of possible futures, organizations can better prepare for uncertainty and make more informed decisions. There are many tools for executing scenario planning. In this lesson, we'll discuss a popular tool known as the 2 by 2 matrix scenario planning. A 2 by 2 matrix is a simple but powerful tool used in scenario planning to visualize and analyze the interaction between two critical uncertainties or dimensions. This matrix helps in generating multiple scenarios by considering different combinations of outcomes for each uncertainty. There are four broad steps in creating a 2 by 2 matrix. First, you identify critical uncertainties, then you define a matrix, you generate scenarios, finally you analyze and evaluate scenarios. Identify critical uncertainties. Begin by identifying two critical uncertainties or dimensions that have significant impact on the future of e-commerce. These uncertainties should be highly uncertain, but have the potential to shape the trajectory of the industry. For example, you might choose dimensions such as technological innovation and regulatory environments, consumer behavior, or economic trends. Define the matrix. Create a 2 by 2 matrix with each dimension represented along one axis. The matrix will have four quadrants, with each quadrant representing a different combination of outcomes for the two uncertainties. Label each axis with possible outcomes or levels for each dimension. For example, if one dimension is technological innovation, the axis could range from low innovation to high innovation. Generate scenarios. Populate each quadrant of the matrix with a scenario that represents a possible future state based on the combination of outcomes of the two uncertainties. Each scenario should tell a coherent and internally consistent story about how the identified uncertainties interact to shape the future of e-commerce. Analyze and evaluate scenarios. Analyze each scenario to understand its implication for e-commerce, businesses, customers, and the broader industry. Evaluate the opportunities, challenges, risks, and strategic implications associated with each scenario. Identify potential strategies and actions that organizations can take to thrive in each scenario. Here's an example of how to use the 2 by 2 matrix for scenario planning. Its two critical uncertainties are level of technological innovation and regulatory environments. The matrix could look like this. Each scenario represents a different combination of technological innovation and regulatory environments, leading to distinct outcomes for the future of e-commerce. A high level of technological innovation would refer to the extent to which companies are leveraging advanced technologies such as AI, and AR to drive innovation in the e-commerce landscape. In this scenario, this dimension would be high as companies embrace AI-powered personalized recommendations, chatbots, virtual assistants, and AR-enabled shopping experiences. A low level of technological innovation would indicate a lower adoption or utilization of advanced technologies in e-commerce. Companies with low technological innovation may rely on traditional methods of selling and interacting with customers without leveraging AI, AR, or other emerging technologies. Moving over to the regulatory environment, a strict or high regulatory environment represents a regulatory environment characterized by stringent data protection laws and regulations aimed at safeguarding consumer privacy and ensuring ethical AI practices. In this scenario, these dimensions will be strict as regulatory bodies enact stricter data privacy laws in response to concerns about data privacy breaches and ethical AI practices. On the other hand, a lenient or low regulatory environment will indicate a regulatory environment with less stringent data protection laws and regulations. Companies may face fewer regulatory requirements and compliance obligations related to data privacy and ethical AI practices in a lenient regulatory environment. Now, let's put these dimensions together to create the 2 by 2 matrix. Low technological innovation and strict regulatory environments will create a traditional e commerce landscape. This quadrant represents a scenario where companies lag behind in adopting advanced technologies and face strict regulatory scrutiny. The e commerce landscape remains traditional with limited adoption of AI and AR, while companies prioritize compliance with data protection laws and regulations. Low technological innovation and lenient regulatory environments will create another traditional e commerce landscape. This quadrant represents a scenario where companies neither innovate technologically nor face stringent regulatory requirements. The e commerce landscape remains traditional, with companies relying on conventional methods of selling and interacting with customers and facing minimal regulatory scrutiny. High technological innovation and lenient regulatory environments create regulatory concerns. This quadrant represents a hypothetical scenario where companies innovate with advanced technologies but face minimal regulatory oversight. Companies may push the boundaries of technological innovation without sufficient safeguards in place, leading to concerns about data privacy and ethical AI practices. A high technological innovation and strict regulatory environment will lead to tech driven transformation. This quadrant represents the scenario described in the This quadrant represents a scenario where rapid advancements in AI and AR technologies drive innovations in e-commerce, while regulatory bodies enforce strict data protection laws to address concerns consumer and privacy, about consumer privacy and ethical AI practices. Now let's examine one of these scenarios in further detail. Taking a look at the tech-driven transformation scenario, we can extrapolate on what the details of this future looks like by drawing from signals in our environment and using our imagination to amplify the consequences of such a scenario. The scenario below describes what such an extrapolation could look like. In this scenario, rapid advancement in artificial intelligence and augmented reality technologies continues to revolutionize the e-commerce landscape, ushering in a new era of immersive and personalized shopping experience. Companies across industries embrace these technologies to stay competitive and meet the evolving needs of consumers. As AI algorithms become increasingly sophisticated, e-commerce platforms harness the power of machine learning and predictive analytics to offer hyper-personalized product recommendations, tailored promotions, and dynamic pricing strategies. AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants provide real-time customer support, guiding shoppers through their purchase journey and resolving inquiries with speed and efficiency. Meanwhile, AR technology transforms the way consumers interact with products online, blurring the lines between digital and physical worlds. AR-enabled virtual try-on features allow shoppers to visualize how products will look and fit in their own environment before making a purchase. Virtual showrooms and immersive shopping experiences transport users to virtual environments where they can explore products in lifelike detail, enhancing engagement and reducing returns. However, amidst technological innovation and digital transformation, concerns about data privacy and regulatory oversight loom large. With the proliferation of AI personalization and data driven decision making, consumers grow increasingly wary of how their personal information is collected and used and shared by e commerce platforms. Heightened awareness of data privacy breaches and ethical concerns, surrounding AI algorithms raise questions about transparency, consent, and accountability in the digital economy. In response to these challenges, regulatory bodies around the world enact stricter data protection laws and regulations to safeguard consumer privacy and ensure ethical AI practices. E-commerce companies are required to comply with stringent data privacy standards, implement transparent data policies, and provide users with greater control over their personal information. Compliance with regulatory requirements becomes a top priority for businesses, shaping their strategies for data management, cybersecurity, and AI governance. As the e-commerce landscape continues to evolve in this tech-driven transformation, UX designers play a pivotal role in balancing innovation with responsibility, creating user-centric experiences that prioritize transparency, trust, and ethical use of technology. By addressing the dual imperatives of technological advancement and regulatory compliance, companies can navigate the complexities of the digital age and build sustainable relationships with customers in the long run. Examining this scenario raises a lot of questions for you as a designer. Some of the questions you could ask are as follows. How would the integration of AI-powered personalization and AR-enabled virtual shopping experiences impact the overall user experience on e-commerce platforms? What design considerations should be taken into account to ensure seamless and intuitive interactions with AI and AR technologies for users? How can we balance the benefits of AI-driven personalization with users' concern about data privacy and security in this highly digitized environment? What measures can be implemented to address regulatory concerns? What measures can be implemented to address regulatory requirements related to data privacy and consumer protection while still delivering innovative and personalized experiences? How might the rapid pace of technological innovation in this scenario influence user adoption rates and behavior towards AI and AR features on e-commerce platforms? What strategies can be employed to educate and reassure users about the safety and privacy of their data when interacting with AI and AR technologies? How can UX design contribute to building trust and transparency with users regarding the collection and the use of their personal data in AI driven e-commerce experiences? Are there specific accessibility considerations that need to be addressed to ensure that AI and AR features are inclusive and usable for all users? What user research methods can be utilized to gather insights into user attitudes, preferences, and behaviors towards AI and AR technologies in the e-commerce context? How might the regulatory landscape evolve in response to concerns about data privacy and AI ethics? And how can UX designers anticipate and adapt to these changes in their designs? Exploring answers to these questions from the scenario described above will lead to more innovative solutions and breakthroughs in the e-commerce space. Scenario planning is a valuable tool for e-commerce businesses to navigate uncertainty and anticipate future challenges and opportunities. By creating and analyzing scenarios, organizations can develop robust strategies and adaptive capabilities to thrive in an ever-changing landscape. As we continue to monitor signals and trends in the e-commerce space, scenario planning provides a structured approach to envisioning potential futures and shaping strategic decision making.